I just gotta be able to bring him on, even though, and this is what I'm talking about, Campbell, right? HBCU coach, HBCU man, Alabama State. Again, had opportunity to see him as a player, develop as a coach, done the right things, got in there, came back after he played, back to his hometown, Montgomery, man, worked his way through the program. Alabama State welcomed with arms, got into the coaching field. He done it the right way. He just learned his way up, man. And man, look at him, man. And everywhere he's won, everywhere he's been, he's won. He's won, So, man, without further ado, man, good friend of mine. Again, I like to see him develop up like that, Campbell. And he's an HBCU man, hard in and out. He's an Alabama State man. He's my frat brother, man. Coach Reggie Barlow. How you doing, Coach? Man, first I want to thank you, man. I know taking over a new position, leaving the pros, taking over this new position. I know everybody pulling you right and left, man. But one thing about it, I know we friends, but I know I'm representing HBCU. You say, Coach, you got it, and I appreciate that. And for the HBCU family and HBCU audience to hear from you first, man, about taking over this prestigious job. Coach, how you feeling right now, man?
I'm excited, Johnny. I appreciate you guys having me on. Obviously, HBCU Coaches Corner, man. I telling somebody earlier that, I am who I am because of my HBCU experience and Alabama State, and then being able to coach there, and then Virginia State, and now I'm back here, man, where I thought I seen tradition and history at those two places I just named, but this one, this Tennessee State, bro, let me just tell you, man, this place here is amazing. To look and see all the wonderful people who attended this university. And I'm not talking about football players. There's 121 of them that was drafted out of this place. And then you're talking about Oprah. You're talking about all the great basketball players, man. Wilma Rudolph. I mean, this place here has it. And I'm humble and blessed that Dr. Allen, the AD here, and the president were willing to give me the keys to the program, right? Obviously, it happened at an unorthodox time, but timing is timing, and you just have to take what it is and keep rolling.
Have you had a chance to reach out to Eddie, or is that down the line? I know people pulling you left to right. Of course, me and you talk. You know my experience there, and I appreciate you. Doing that, reaching out, or we reached out to each other, where you are as far as making the connections and with your coaching staff.
Yeah, so Coach George, he reached out through Instagram or something like that, and he and I had kind of been talking to each other back and forward over the years, just about, being a former player and now being in a coaching position and stuff like that. So him and give him credit for what he did here, coming in as a guy who hadn't really coached, but, did it his way and found some success. So, and he did at a great program. So we have had some contact. He told me if I need anything, just reach out to him, and I'm sure we'll have some more conversations as we go. From a coaching staff standpoint, obviously we've had some guys that have worked with us in the past who's worked here at Tennessee State and had some success. Some when you guys were here, and people still talk about that. They still talk about the Kites, and they talk about Russ Ernfield and Shannon Harris and some of the other guys that have played here and coached here. So we're hoping to get those guys here with us. Like I said, it was an unorthodox situation, and the UFL, man, they blessed me and gave me a chance to coach on the pro level. The UFL, the XFL, and all the people affiliated with that. Russ Brand, the president, and Moose Johnson, the vice president. And, I got those guys' blessings. And it was a tough time right before our season, but I got their blessings. And they just wanted me not to take the staff, take everybody and leave them there empty. So we're going to let those guys finish it out. And we're going to hold it down here on the fort, here on the hill, and make things happen.
Hey, Coach Barlow, make them send you a wash and dry or something. Give you some bonus money. Say, man, but y'all making me work a little harder. I need my folk, man. And in the meantime, y'all need to send some money over here.
Oh yeah, they definitely need to do that, man. We got some stuff. I can't tell you this. Troy Vincent with the NFL and Roman Oben, who was my teammate in Tampa. Those guys have been really good to HBCUs, particularly when I was at ASU, when I was at Virginia State. And, of course, they did some stuff here at Tennessee State when Eddie was here. So we're going to continue that and lean on them, man. And we're just grateful for guys like Troy Vincent, Roman Oben, and some of the others that, believe in the HBCUs and really want to help us out.
Yeah. I was just telling the audience how important it, of course, I always say this, hell, it's my damn show about these celebrity guys coming in and jumping right to the head coach. How, just tell us a little about yourself. Of course, you played under some great offensive coordinators in Gruden, and, you won part of a Super Bowl. You came back home and you got back in the coaching. How important it was for you to start as an assistant and your success as a head coach at Alabama State, 8 winning seasons, Virginia State, and now in the XFL or the USFL?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question, Johnny. I'm so glad of the tutelage that I got. I actually went and volunteered at my high school first just to see and get a feel for it. Thanks to Richard Moncrief, who was the head coach at the time. And I'll tell you this, I ain't know nothing about coaching. I knew about football, but I ain't know nothing about coaching. But I quickly found out what takes place behind the scenes. Like, I didn't realize that they stayed all Sunday prepping for practice the next day. And after practice, they're going to watch the film and just all this stuff that go with football, right? And I'm like, geez, this here's a lot of Moncrief. He was running it right, man. After the game, you come in, talk about the mistakes that the team made. Obviously, do your little walkthroughs and stuff, corrections. So that was like, man, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So I'm grateful for Coach Moncrief. And then obviously being able to go and coach with Charlie Cole, just the position came open. I think Darryl, one of your guys, was wanted to go into the administration part of it, and they had Tavares, my homeboy, which it was more or less keep him out of trouble. I ain't gonna talk about no technique and all the stuff that you used to do with him and D. Williams used to do. So it was just but I learned a lot from Charlie Cole, the structure and organization of staff meetings, how you talk about for game plan and all that stuff. So that experience taught me a lot. And still, once I became a head coach, I had never called a timeout before. People don't realize it. But there's something to calling the timeout, when to call it, and game plan and all that other stuff. And then holding your coaches accountable, being there for your players. I mean, that's a lot going to it, but I learned a lot from Charlie Cole. I learned a lot from Free. And then obviously I learned a lot from you and your brother, from LC, just from being around and just talking football when I would come back home. I think we used to go on the board and write up West Coast stuff, stick spacing and all that stuff. And then you put the middle read up and all that stuff, man. So I was learning a whole bunch about coaching and teaching and all that stuff. And I learned that stuff from you guys, man. So I'm always thankful and grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, man, and I know ultimately, Coach, you in this game, and you making those moves, and I'm talking to the audience. It's when coaches move, they move from place to place as long as they moving upwards. And I know where you started from, and we had some talks behind. I know where you want to go. I just think this is just a great. It's almost like the Jermaine Jackson hire, guys. I think it's just a great fit. HBCU guy, legendary guy, taking over at Texas Southern. That now, Tennessee State has always been known the top black school because they play in HBCU as well as they play the PWIs. You want to kind of talk about that because, of course you're going to have to coach both ways, and when I say both ways, there's a difference coaching at HBCU and coaching PWIs.
Yeah.
They're the same week, baby.
Yeah, obviously there's some differences. I think I'm real grateful for my UFL experience, right? I mean, it was similar. I'm getting a chance to coach, a different league and all that stuff. And I will tell you this, our HBCU coaches, man, when we went to the XFL, all of our coaches were HBCU grads except 2 on our staff. I mean, we had Shannon Harris, we had Dion Harris that worked for us at Virginia State, played for us at Virginia State. And it was Vernon Dean was the only one. He went to San Diego State. Yeah. San Diego State. And then we had Jamie Sharper. He was a Virginia UVA guy. But the rest of our staff was, and I say this because we were able to go there and show, like, all right, X's and O's, we know it too, and we can develop a game plan and all that stuff. So we were happy about that. And then now with this experience, being in the OVC, which you have a lot of respect for this conference and the teams that's in it. And it'll be a wonderful opportunity. Like Eddie, last year Coach George and their team did a good job in competing over the last few years against the talent in the OVC. So so it'll be something that we'll definitely lean on. I mean, I don't think this is the last conversation that I'm gonna have with you in the LC. I actually called him a few days ago, and I didn't get him, so I'm gonna reach back out to him. Just touring the stadium the other day and all the great coaches, right? And there goes LC holding the trophy up from when you guys won that thing. I think back in '98 or something like that. So
we won 2, Coach. We won 2, baby. Hey, look, I gotta have you right for the history, because when the '98 and '99 teams come around, I want you to embrace them, Coach. They feel like lonely, Coach. They feel like the folk don't forget about them, man.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do that. Actually, we've already been on the trails. We hosted an event the other day here on campus, and many of the former players, some older, some younger, were there. And similar to what we did at Alabama State for our former players, we started the FIB alumni deal. We let these guys come on the field and pregame on game day. You get a field pass for you and, +2 or whatever. Get the chance to walk the field, go around the locker room and all that. Of course, once the game start, you go up to your seat. But that's what we finna do here with Big Blue. I mean, we finna have some legends back around here.
Well, let me say this, Coach. It's the 25th year of the 1999 team winning the OVC championship. Of course, we need 98, 99.
Yeah.
And I think you might, if I could bring both teams back, because we didn't celebrate the 98 team, and bring the 98 and 99 team back. That's just something I can let you know. And we got a group chat. They got a group chat, so just to let you know about that. And these boys are doctors and lawyers and all that, Coach, right now.
Right on.
And I got to say, and I know some of them are watching tonight because I put your show on there, that they've really, really been feeling left out, man. Left out.
Yeah. Trust me, I know that. And that's, we'll figure that out. I'll talk to our AD tomorrow and other people that's affiliated with the program, and definitely try to have something and have those guys back, have like a meet and greet the night before the game. Obviously, let them come down in pregame on the field, and then halftime, recognize them and do their thing. And then, of course, just stay connected with them, because like you said, and I mentioned this to the Nashville alumni chapter tonight, I when I spoke with them, is yes, Tennessee State has had a lot of athletes and other people who've, basketball, football, track. I was like, but the education and the people who've gone out to be doctors and lawyers and sports science and all type of stuff. So there are some amazing people here. I promise you, man, I've been just so impressed with this university, the bells and whistles that they have at this university. I mean, they got a bowling alley here, man.
Yeah.
They got beautiful stuff, man. The indoor facility. I mean, I walked in that thing. They just put new turf in there like 3 years ago. I mean, it's beautiful, man. So brand new track. I mean, it's just a lot going on here, and we're excited about it. And yep, we just gotta get ready to, get these guys. You know how it go. Once this, coach leave and the guys not knowing who's gonna be the coach, transfer portal and all that other stuff comes up. So we got to recruit some of our guys back. Got to sprinkle in some new guys, and then we got to develop the younger guys and, be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. I'm going to let these guys come, but, I'm excited, man. I mean, I'm excited for you and your staff. And of course, I'm going to be there. But I'm going to let these other guys ask some questions. Go ahead, guys.
Well, Coach, hey, first of all, appreciate you being here. Now, Coach, listen, me and you, I'm a little bit older than you, but see, Coach, I actually remember when you played at Alabama State.
Oh, yeah.
I remember those teams, those great teams coached by Houston Markham.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are a HBCU national champion, a professional champion, a college champion, and now I'm going to name some names, Coach, because see, I'm setting this up. Now, we talking, you at Tennessee State.
Yeah.
National champion coach Henry Dean.
Yeah.
Howard Gentry. Big John Merritt. Rod Reed. And then you got Coach Cole and that crew winning the conference, and Eddie George. Hey, Coach, listen, when you say Tennessee State, they were known to play anybody, anytime, and will beat your ass anybody, anytime. Do you really feel that you're one part of coaching one of the Blue Bloods? And your background of being a HBCU player, being a national champion, and coaching at this school?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I appreciate that question. And that's why I'm so humble about it. And, I was thinking today throughout the facility that we have over there on campus, I mean, we have stuff all throughout the hallway about former players that went to the NFL, but I want that in my office too. I want to look at L.C. Cole and John Mayer. I want those pictures of those guys in there so I can continue to understand the standard has been set and the standard needs to be met. And I want to form a list of the former players. And I want to look at it every day because it means that much to me that I have to understand the standard that has been set and then the standard that has to be met. So I'm humbled by it, man. I'm telling you, I'm really humbled by it. I'm going to embrace this opportunity. And when I got the call about interest in this program, I was tickled to death. I just was like, couldn't hold myself together, because I was so excited about this place, Tennessee State in Nashville. The legends and the people who've played here come before us. It's just a real cool setup, and we're looking to dive in and being ready to rock and roll here.
Now, Coach, you're following Eddie George, Heisman Trophy winner, brought the school back to football prominence. What are some of the things that I'm not going to say what you're going to change, but what are you going to build upon that you see? Because I think what a lot of people like to do, Coach George is gone, and then we, talk about the things that the state has been battling with, Tennessee State has been battling with the state. But once again, it's still Tennessee State, and it still has a foundation. What are some of the things that you just identified from a positive side that you say, we can build on that and go and keep winning conference championships?
I mean, the one thing, just the stability of the program. They had good players here. They've done a good job over the last few years of recruiting guys and just having a plan and having a plan in place. And I'm happy and proud of Coach George and what he did here and his staff. And there's a lot of positive that they did here. There's a culture of these players that maybe the first few years they didn't have the success they wanted, but they eventually got to that success, and now they know what it feels like, and they want to go even farther with it. So, Tennessee State is the thermometer. All right. I mean, we're the thermostat. We set the temperature. We're not the thermometer. we set it, and that's what has happened around here from all the coaches that have been a part of this program, all the players that's been a part of this program, and Coach George continued that. So we want to make sure we do it the right way, but we want to do it our way. I think we have a recipe of how we build programs and how we win and how we get guys to mentally and physically ready to play football. We feel like we have a recipe for that as well, and we'll sprinkle our recipe on top of the things that they've done here. And, it has helped us in the past, and we're hoping it'll help us here at Tennessee State.
Well, good. I'm going to turn it over to Rock. I know he's got a couple of questions. And Coach, we'll come back and we're going to talk a little bit more of that Tennessee State history.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, one thing I realized you mentioned a minute ago that this is probably not the ideal time to have a coaching transition. Typically, if everything worked under schedule, you would have got this job in early December, at the latest, early January. But we're here now, Coach. You're the head coach. And are you guys in spring ball? Or you guys, or have you set the spring schedule yet?
Yeah, so we're not in spring ball right now, but we are going to have some type of resemblance of spring ball, more or less your OTA type of setup, because we do have some guys in the portal that we're recruiting back, but we'll have some drills and skills type stuff. So the coaches that are here will get a chance to see these guys run around, see them move. Some one-on-one stuff, O-line, D-line one-on-ones, wide receivers, 7-on-7 stuff, and just more or less skills and drills, just so we'll be able to get our eyes on them, and half-line stuff. So we're going to take our time. We understand that the timing might not have been perfect, but the time is the time, and we have to take it as we go and have an appreciation for it. And there's nothing we can do about it at this point but try and be better and not bitter about it. So we're encouraged and looking forward to spending some time on the field with the guys. So
as a coach, you have to come in and first find out where the bathroom is and where everything is. I stole that from Coach Cole. He always says that. But you have to do it in a really accelerated time frame. Because let's be honest, Coach, you're gonna kick it off in about 5 or 6 months, Coach. Right. With not having very much time to prep.
Yeah.
And recruit for that matter.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, what is your plan for recruiting, transfer? What is your plan to get a Reggie Barlow team fielded and on the field this fall?
Yeah, so the recruiting piece has kind of been still in place. We had essentially a GM that managed all of the recruiting board for not just this past recruiting cycle 25, but recruiting cycle for 26 and 27 of guys that's on the board that we know about, guys that we've offered. Obviously, we had the 25 class already signed, but the board for 26 is there. We've hit the ground running with guys that we've been in contact with in terms of getting a beat on what those guys want to do. Our general manager has been in constant contact with those gentlemen. And for me, just getting back here, and the recruiting piece for me right now is recruiting the guys that's in the transfer portal, trying to get them to come back to be a part of what they built and to be a part of what we want to continue to build. So that's kind of like what's happening with us right now. Multitasking, looking at games from last year, seeing the guys that played and contribute on offense, defense, special teams. Obviously, coaches that we're going to bring in, coaches that will leave and all that stuff. So it's a balancing act, but and we prepared for it. I'll tell you this. When I went to Virginia State, I got hired in May. So I didn't even go to spring ball with them when that was already over with. So we didn't have a spring ball. So it's the job demanded more, right? You just got to find a way to get it done.
Well, Coach, if that's any indication, because if that year, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, with coming in May, you went 9-2. Is that correct, Coach?
We did. We went 9-2. Yeah.
So you were able to function with a short schedule in that situation. You have a little more time this time, so it's good to know that you're familiar with working with this, Coach. But this is what I wanted to ask you, Coach. Were there any particular relationships or acquaintances that help you make a connection between you and the president and let him know that you were really interested in the job, or that this, how did this kind of unfold?
Yeah, I think Dr. Allen, the AD here, he it's all about forecasting when you're a head coach and when you're AD, and you got to have guys that we've called it the short list of guys or whatever, but guys that you've probably followed or watched and wanted to possibly have some conversations with. So I think it was part of that. I think Dr. Allen and I know many of the same people. I think the fact that I had taken on a staff that was in place, I had taken on a job where I didn't get a chance to go through spring ball and all that stuff. I think just experience and all those type of things was some of the things that gave the prayers here and Dr. Allen like the go ahead to say, hey, let's bring this guy in. And the times where I visited, I thought the conversations were organic and transparent about everything that's being said about what's going on here and all the things and positive things that we do have going on here. So a combination of all that was a cool mesh, and nothing seemed forced in the conversations, nothing seemed odd, which is always a good thing. So so we felt really good about it.
Because there was the rumor mill is forever going, and it seemed that there were some other guys, really prominent guys, that were interested in the job. But I think from what I could see on social media and everything, the Tennessee State fans were really happy with you being appointed the head coach. And so with that being, that's always good to have the support of the fan base when you're hired for a job.
Yeah, I love the fans that I've had a chance to meet and greet, the alumni that we had a chance to talk with. Like we've had a few functions where we've been able to get out in front of our alumni and our fans, and that's important to us. I mean, we want to engage the fans. We want to be available for our fans. We want to be available for our alumni because they laid the foundation for what we're receiving right now. So I always want to make ourselves available for that. I'm grateful that the fans think that we got it right. I believe we did, and we're excited about being in this leadership role here at Tennessee State, man. And when I tell you, I can't say enough about the history and tradition of this university. My high school coach, Steve Holloway, played football here, and he was a really good tight end and played in the NFL. And, man, he used to tell me about Tennessee State when I was in high school, trying to get me to come here. Obviously, I did. I went to Alabama State. But I'm just glad that I have an opportunity to be here now, and I'm learning a lot about the university. I'm continuing to learn about the tradition and history here. And it's been a real cool, fast, 3 days that I've been here, maybe 3 days. That's about all I've been here so far. So there's a lot going on in terms of learning the history and tradition, to continue to learn the history and tradition here and how things operate. But man, I tell you, I couldn't have got a better job.
Yeah. You know, guys, Barlow, and I know this, of course, a lot of jobs have opened up and his name is, of course, popped up, and we always talk Barlow. I don't know if you even know, I got Rocky over here who's not a HBCU guy. So he does all the history and the digging to find out how terrible we are.
No.
So in the
that's
last,
not true, Coach.
That's not true. I'm just bullshit. In the last 20 years or 25 years, 24 years now, there's only 3 coaches that have won the SWAC or even played in the SWAC that's actually still coaching. And most of our championship coaches like yourself was on the shelf or out the conference, and you were kind of out the conference. Out of all those jobs have popped open, and I know you got calls because man, we talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you believe, man? You really, quote unquote, on the outside, you got the number one job.
Oh yeah, I have the best job, and out of all of them.
Hey, you got the toughest too. Now you got the toughest.
Oh yeah, it's the toughest. It is the toughest, man. But I tell you, this is a good one here, man. Yeah. This is a good one, and sometimes God save us from ourselves, man. When here's a job come available, and if you're on the outs, and it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. But then it's like something that changed and you don't take it because here around the corner, he had, this right here for you. And, being in the spring league, which I mentioned, I enjoyed that. So grateful for the opportunities I had there to coach. But, man, having a chance to come to Tennessee State to do the campus tour, I was just blown away at this, how much space they got, how many acres of land they got. And all the buildings that they have here, and student union. I mean, it just built 2 new dorms. So this place here is booming. Of course, the city of Nashville is growing a lot, and there's a lot to offer here at Tennessee State. And yeah, this is a good one, man, and we've been enjoying it.
Now, Coach, you want to?
Well, no. I was going to ask Coach Barlow. Because Coach Barlow, it almost like once your name came up for this job, it seemed like a no-brainer. There have been several jobs in the area where you've been coaching that have come open, and I didn't hear your name come up. I'm not a historian. How does this? Because I don't know how it kind of works, Coach Barlow. Is that you have a guy on the Eastern Seaboard that's highly successful, and you got a number of jobs that come up, but his name doesn't come up for any of those jobs. But as soon as Tennessee State's open, you're the top candidate, and it's a no-brainer. It seems like in other areas, you have that short list, and the short list kind of looks similar in every situation. But in the HBCU space, everybody's short list is no one, it's almost like Tennessee State has their short list. A&T has their short list. Hampton, Norfolk State, South Carolina State all have their short list, and none of those guys are on each other's list. So can you kind of tell me how that works as a coach that was in the market, obviously, for a while?
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff, man, is regionally, right? Region. And you say you got a coach that's from Alabama. He's recruited Alabama, probably have recruited Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, and all that stuff. So I'm sure that's probably why the lists are so different. I mean, you look at Alabama A&M, they grabbed an amazing coach in Sam Shade, but he was right there in Birmingham. He's from the area. He's recruited Alabama, Mississippi, and all that stuff. So that may have a lot to do with it. Every other time. I mean, there are sometimes there may be a wrinkle thrown in it, but you look at Dawson Odom some years back, who was an amazing coach at Southern, but he was kind of like an East Coast guy, and he ended up back at Norfolk, he was on their short list and ended up getting a job. So I think that part may have something to do with it, but whatever those lists are, I think those lists needs to find a LC Cole name on there. The people who have jobs that may come available, because he's still doing it at a high level. He's doing it at some places where it typically is not used to having wins and seeing that stuff happen like that. So, and he's just not there on staff. I mean, he's coordinated that thing. So that shows that he still has the ability to coach and get guys to play for him at a high level.
Yeah. Coach, now I'm gonna give you some tips here. You already know we talk. All right, I give Eddie George his flowers. He did win the championship But I know the real Tennessee State. I've gotten this from some of the people who played. How much will you have with your schedule? Because we can't continue to play Pine Bluff, Mississippi Valley, Lane College. When we used to playing them boys, them Florida A&M boys, them Jackson State boys, them North Carolina Central boys.
Man, Coach, you stole my thunder, Coach. I'm upset.
To play the best HBCU and then play their schedule. Now, I've done my research and I know Barlow, I know you ain't gonna stand for this. We sold 25 season tickets and folk barely came to the game. I know Barlow at Alabama State, your whole thing was a lot different. So not only are you gonna have to get your program ready on the field, and I guess the question I'm asking with you and the athletic director, will you play a role in your schedule?
Yeah, so Dr. Allen and myself, Dusty Bennett, who works in the athletic department, associate AD, this guy, Dusty, is good, man. He's already, the schedule this year, they want us and we want to have Tennessee State play HBCU schools. Outside, when we're not playing in conference, then we want to have that tradition of playing Jackson State. We got a contract that we're going to play A&M for the next 4 years, Alabama A&M. We're going to play Howard, right? And then, of course, we'll continue to add. When I was at Alabama State, we played Tennessee State there in Montgomery. So we're definitely going to be having a schedule where we're playing against the top dogs, HBCU schools, because that's been the standard. That's what Tennessee State has done for a long time. And Tennessee State will take care of business too for a long time playing against those schools. So that's definitely something that they are very intentional about playing teams, HBCU schools. Like we'll have the home and home with Alabama A&M. We've had the home and home with Howard for homecoming type deal, and those games will continue. And even non-HBCU, North Dakota State, is a home and home. They played North Dakota State last year, and we play them again this year at home. So those games are challenging. Right? These guys are in a whole different recruiting range and all that type of stuff. But get a chance to see how you measure up, right? Say you want to play the best of the best, so you get a chance.
Look, Cole, we ain't holding you responsible for that. We ain't holding you responsible for that. Coach can say it. See, I can say it. Ain't no damn way we need to be going way up north where we only recruit from playing a team that won seven championships, 7 NCAA Division I championships. Ain't no way, Coach.
Well, they're gonna come. They're coming down here to come to the South this time, so we get a chance to let them play in some of that heat, that Tennessee heat, man, and take our guys out there and go play against an outstanding university. So it should be fun.
Well, Coach, you're going to get an opportunity to shock the world in that game, Coach. If you're able to make some noise in that game, the sky's the limit, Coach. Will that be y'all first game of the season?
No, sir, it's not the first game, but I think it may be the third game. But I'm right now. Our schedule is the transfer portal. That's my opponent right now.
That's right, Coach. That's right. That's right. What you say, Coach? I can get some ready-made.
Yeah.
Some ready-made lemonade, baby. I ain't had no sugar, no salt, none of that.
Yeah, bro. That's the opponent for me right now is the transfer portal and grabbing these guys back. And then, obviously you can go to the transfer portal and get guys, but I think there's probably 3,000 student athletes in the transfer portal. So
outside your conference, you got South Dakota State,
North Dakota.
North Dakota State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama A&M this year, or
yes.
And is it Southern?
Howard,
okay.
And North Carolina,
no more Lane, Pine Bluff,
and North Carolina A&T.
That's where they play first.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Now that's Tennessee State football right there, Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all get some folks to start coming back out. You know?
That's
Hey,
that.
Coach, A&T's been a huckleberry, so Coach, you might got you one right off the bat with A&T.
No, man, A&T is one of those historic programs, and they've done a good job. They got a new coach there, so I'm sure I think he's an alum and played there as well, and has had some.
Oh, he's in CCU,
Yeah,
Coach.
so, yeah, he almost got that. He almost got that Florida A&M job. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that. He was a good coach down at Fort Valley. Old Joe, Coach Barlow. You know.
Yeah.
You know, hey.
Yeah, he won over there at Fort Valley.
Yeah. Yes. Sir.
Yeah,
yes,
it'll be good. It'll be good. So, yeah, it's
defensive coordinator. Is it a defense that you want to play? Have you decided one, or you got your defensive staff?
Yeah. So, I'm big in, like, you hire a guy, the coordinators, you at least want them to have some names that they can bring with them. So Greg Williams is going to be our defensive coordinator.
Repeat that, Coach.
Greg Williams.
The NFL Greg Williams? The blitz till you bleed, Greg Williams?
Install blitz on day one.
Hey, when they heard that, everybody started working on blitz and jets. Hey, you won't see a long pass the whole game. Everything will be slants and hitches and outs and fade routes.
Make them check it down, and we're going to hit it. Check it down.
You might as well get ready for that.
Hey, Coach, you must got one heck of a coaching pool, Coach, if you were able to land Greg Williams.
Well, Greg has been our defensive coordinator the last 2 years there with our team with the UFL. He's been our defensive coordinator. So we built a relationship, rapport just over the years, playing against them. And when he was with the Titans for all those years. And then, like I said, he's been our defense coordinator the last few years. And I tell you this, since I've gotten this job, and you guys know that in coaching, you're going to get people that want to come work for you. And you're going to get people that want to come coach. And for whatever reason, one, they may just need a job or whatever. But the list of names and the people that have reached out to me and the experience that these guys have, I'm blown away. But it's Tennessee State, all right? It's Tennessee State. This is Scott Pioli, who is a longtime NFL GM, Super Bowls. He's won them all over. And he's been a mentor of mine. He really helped me get on with the UFL, and is always backing minorities and trying to help. Man, he's so excited that we are at a university like this, like Tennessee State. Like, this is a huge deal, and people all around the country is having an appreciation for getting a guy or getting me or me being able to come here and work at Tennessee State. So we'll have some guys that have coached on all different levels that'll be a part of our staffs. And we're just happy that Greg wants to come and be a part of it. He loves Nashville. He lived here for many years. His kids grew up here, went to Brentwood Academy. So Blake went there. So, yeah, he loved his city. And
well, Coach, let me ask you this, Coach. How does living in an NFL city help you with having coaches available? Does being in Nashville help you, or do you think it played a part in all the coaches that have an interest in coaching there in Nashville? Yeah,
Rock, that now that you say that, that's a good point, because many of them that have reached out, that's the first thing that they said. Hey, I'm living in Nashville, or I'm looking to move to Nashville, or my family is in Nashville and I'm trying to get back there. So we've had a bunch of coaches that are legit coaches. They've been in it for a while, and they are like, here's a chance to go to Tennessee State. Live in Nashville. It's a great city here. There's a lot of things going on here, and a lot of people are moving back here. A lot of our players that play for us in that UFL league, a lot of them live here. It's a Nashville thing. It's thriving, it's booming, and Tennessee State. So it's a good combination.
Coach, let me ask you this question. You talked about you've already see the great thing about you coached on the college level. You went to the pro, but you talked about the first game that you were thinking about, that portal. Because you see now how the portals kind of work now. You've kind of been able to look at it from afar and now looking at it directly. what type of players are you looking for in the portal? Are you looking for guys that, hey, they've, I've seen some coach, let me get a bunch of Power 5 guys that's got the measurements. Then I've seen some coach say, hey, let me get some D2 guys that got the stats. What is your philosophy going to be as far as, bringing guys in and trying to bring them to be a Tiger?
Yeah, I mean, the category of FBS, FCS, and all that stuff, that really doesn't matter. It's about guys that fit. Obviously, offensive line guys, if you can grab some offensive line guys that have had some type of production at the place that they're at, you definitely want to be able to get those guys. Defensive end, defensive tackles, those guys are a premium. So any of those that are in the portal with length and size and may have limited experience, obviously you can take a look at them. You have to go back and check out their high school stuff to see why they ended up at the school that they're at. And then, of course, your skill position guys, I think we all know they can be playing at Lane. They could be playing at Alabama State. They can be playing at Albany State. But you can put them up there against just about any conference because those guys be legit, just like you see some of the legit guys in the SEC schools and some of the other big schools. So, but we don't want to major in the portal, right? We don't want to build a team or get desperate and just go to the portal all the time. I mean, we still want to grab high school guys, build a program that way, let it be the foundation, and then sprinkle in plug and play guys that's perhaps in the portal. But when I'm talking about right now, it's our schedule is the portal. I'm talking more or less recruiting our guys that's in the portal that had some uncertainty after Coach George left on who was going to be the coach or whether or not they were going to go off with Coach George to his new place. So it's about recruiting those guys back because there's some solid guys that was on our team that's now in the portal. So had some good conversations. Met with a good bit of them. I called a good bit of them on the phone, and we're hoping to be able to get the guys back.
Coach Barlow, do you have a quarterback in the fold?
Yeah, I mean we've had some conversations with some quarterbacks. We have a few quarterbacks that's on roster right now. Well, one of them that played a good bit is he's in the portal, but I've had a real long, real true conversation with him today. I felt real good about that. I think he'll be back. And then, of course, there are some guys that have come here this summer that we've talked to, that people have reached out to us about that have some experience at other places and kind of fit like what we like to do from an offensive standpoint. So we're hoping to probably add at least, 2 or 3 other quarterbacks before the fall season.
Coach, I want to share something else with you, put in your to-do list. Of course, you're in late, this year, you come in and, we ain't even going to count this year, Coach. I know you're going to count it because you're just a competitor like that.
Right.
But I think one of the things Tennessee State need to do is move away from the pro stadium and move back into the whole. I know it's so early and that's so probably maybe right now so far off your radar, but I think that would help the attendance as well as the morale there, playing in the hole, and of course you just now getting there, they call that the holy ground.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Tate and Killebrew and Richard Dent, Jefferson Street Joe, and Golden Tate. I can go on with all those great guys because I was a baby. I was a freshman at Texas Southern when they went 11-0-1. And the one tie was against us at Texas Southern. And I happened to hold the ball to kick the field goal to win it. So that's how far I go back. I just, again, like to put that in your pocket, man. That going downtown, man, that whole deal and matter of fact, the deal happened when we were there at Tennessee State. And I had an opportunity to help build the locker room and all that. But that deal was a tough deal. It was a tough deal then, and it's a tough deal now. And I think it hurts Tennessee State football not to play right there on campus, But But I know for you, that's way back. Put that one back in your pocket.
No. I'll tell you this. I know the importance of playing in Hell Stadium, and Dr. Allen, our AD, he understands it, and there's a lot of other people. So we've had the conversation, and just know you'll be surprised. Well, you won't be surprised, but there is a real effort to eventually have games back in Hell Stadium, starting with redoing the surface, and then of course fixing up the press box side because that game was taken down. So this leadership understands that. They know how important it is to the students and how convenient it would be for the students and how it is a home field advantage when you are in that stadium. So, we've had conversations about it, and I think it'll happen sooner than most people think about playing home games back in the stadium, as far as getting possibly new turf, scoreboard, and then of course getting the press box. So obviously the Titans is building a new stadium right next to Nissan Stadium. I think it'll still have the same obligations in terms of Tennessee State will have our own area, locker room, and all that stuff in that stadium as well. It'll be a dome, but I think the overall thoughts of getting back on campus is something that a lot of people want, and I think it'll happen sooner than later.
Well, I really think that would be a good idea, and definitely if you invite the 98-90 team down, Coach, I'll definitely get an opportunity to come down and visit with you, man. And I'm real excited. I think they chose the right guy. I know you'll get it done. I know you'll get the people in there to get it done.
That's right.
And you guys don't know Coach Barlow. One thing about it, babe, if you don't get it done, he'll give you one of these.
Yeah, you're right. I've never fired anybody, man. They fired
yeah. So, man, and Coach Shannon Harris, he's a Tennessee State grad, quarterback, played there. He'll coach your what now, quarterbacks?
Yeah, he'll be a quarterback coach, man. But we're happy about him, Shannon, man. He gonna blow those people away at the UFL. He's the interim head coach right now. He's taking on the team, and he's been able to do that. I'm just grateful that the UFL gave him that chance, right? We all had a conversation, and they're giving him a chance to show that he belongs and that he can coach and manage a team and all that stuff. So we're excited about him doing that. And then
your offense coordinator, Fred Keiss, he's been at Tennessee State. Now this is his fourth time?
Third or fourth time.
Yeah, he actually coached with me. He was the offensive coordinator of the year in the XFL.
Yeah.
He knows HBCU football, and I know that's another exciting move for you.
Yeah, those guys have experience with Tennessee State. They know this area. Shannon has a lot of connections here. Coach Keiss, obviously, he's coached here a long time, and we're looking to sprinkle in a few other guys that may be affiliated with Tennessee State as well.
Are you thinking about Russ Armfield, or that's something down the line, or you got some people in line?
I think we want Russ to be affiliated with the program in some form or fashion. I'm looking forward to spending some time with him. I just got here, like I said, like 3 days ago, and it's been hitting the ground running. But Russ is somebody that I really have a lot of respect for, and definitely want to spend some time with him and get him around the program.
What's the soul food place down there, Coach? You been to the soul food place?
I've not been to the soul food place, but I've heard about a couple places that they've mentioned to me. There's a Jamaican little spot. Out there. So I'm trying to see it and do it all here in this city, man, and be available to the people and barbershops and all that stuff. The church around here, so I want to be involved and be able to meet and greet a lot of folks here in Nashville.
Yeah, it's a lot of fine folks down there, man, and I had a great time there, and I'm pretty sure you will as well, Coach. You guys got something?
Yeah, I do. Coach, I want to talk about let's talk about your AD. And he's one that dynamic young ADs out there. Talk about the conversation when he came to you, what he wanted to do, and how are you all going to work as a team? Because I know one of the things, you hear a lot of people talk about what your budget's going to be, what's this going to be. But one of the things that I've, just watching AD Allen from afar, he's a very innovative person. I look at you as a very innovative person. So what are you going to do far as, being innovative, working, as you can say, work what you got, and also talk about your relationship and how you guys are going to partner together to build Tennessee State football?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of respect for AD Allen. I think his heart and soul and mind is in the right spot. I think I know he's extremely passionate about working and doing what's right for Tennessee State. And one of the things that I truly love about him is the players, the student athletes here knows that he cares about them. He'll go over and beyond to help them, to make things happen for them. He's relatable. He has great energy, enthusiasm about his job and about developing these young men and making sure that they have the things that they need, the resources that they need to be successful. And amongst myself and AD Allen, Dusty Bennett, and as well as the other people that's affiliated with the department, man, there's some smart people. They got some things in place that they want to do. From a scheduling standpoint, from a fundraiser standpoint, and we just want to be available for them, so we can parlay and we can use the resources that we're able to get to benefit the student athletes here at Tennessee State because they deserve it.
Coach, I know you're the 23rd, and I'm correct on the 23rd head coach at Tennessee State. That correct? Am I right on that? 23rd.
MJ.
That Jordan year. One of the things that, and again, being around this, I'm originally from Jackson. That's why I said I've seen you play. You were in school. I was at FAMU, so I've seen you play. The alumni, they are a very passionate fan base. They are a very historical fan base. And I like what the AD is doing to, you got to play, like you said, the OVC schedule. But he's saying, let's go back to our roots also. I think two things, I know he's going to probably work on, see if he can get Jack State and FAMU back on schedule. Then them folks will be really happy. But what do you say to the alumni that have been kind of, a lot of apathy for the last 10 years, not feeling that is that blue, blue tiger roar? What are you telling those alumni as you're meeting them and what to expect from you in Tennessee State?
Yeah, I think they see the mission, right? For 10 years or so, Tennessee State might not have played many HBCUs. They might have played one game against a HBCU, maybe Jackson or something like that. But they see it now. I mean, Alabama A&M, they got Howard, you got North Carolina A&T. So you see the work behind the scene that that the AD is trying to make happen for our alums. We know that our alums want that. There's already talks about being able to play FAM, like you mentioned, play Jackson. Like they had it back in the day. So the fans will see and they will know that the AD, the president, and everybody else is doing what they can to give them what they want.
My name is JM&E, and I won $500 on the lunch money for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.